Good day, folks. This is Greg Judy at Green Pastures Farm. Today I am checking out our load of Bale unrollers we just got in. This is called the original Greg Judy Bale unroller. This is the design that I came up with in 1997. And I had a guy build me a prototype. And then Kendall and Amber at Reject Ranch, Kendall asked me if he could try and take my prototype home and build one and just see what he could do with it. Many years later, this has become a quite popular instrument, tool on the farm for spreading fertility around your farm. It's got the 2-speed winch here, so you can put it on this one for a fast retrieve or this one for a slow retrieve if you don't have quite the arm strength. The axles on it, we've never broken an axle unrolling hay. You do have to use some sense. You don't want to hit a hole going 30 miles an hour with a big bale on it. That's asking for trouble, but it does have a 2-inch ball on it. The jack there jacks the bale up until it gets over-centered, and then it comes to rest right here. So I'll just jack it up. I'll show you travel position here. Just hold with me a minute. Now we put these springs on there. My prototype didn't have the spring on there. Why did we put the spring on? Well, if you're jacking the bale up, or even jacking this up for a travel position, once you get over toggled right here, this thing would fall. And it could hit you on the shoulder or whatever. So, we did that. And there she is. Travel position. Absolutely. These spikes, they go in and out. Those are triple hardened steel. You can unroll a 12 to 1,400 pound net wrap bale with this bale unroller. We do have grease certs on each side to grease that stud as it slides back and forth. And it does have high-speed axles on it. You can pull this thing at highway speeds. You know, if I've got a long ways to go, like to Texas from Missouri, I'm probably going to put it on a trailer and boom it down. It is 100 inches wide from right here, outside tire, to outside tire. So it's pretty tough to get on a pickup bed. It will go in if you leave the tailgate down and you've got 100 inches. You can set it in there sideways and put the tongue straight up in the air like that. Boom it down and it'll ride. But you got to have 100 inches because you don't want this sticking out past your tailgate. Yeah, so Kendall just brought me a new load yesterday. And we're loaded up, man. We got some inventory. Right now, it's hard to keep inventory. He just brought these the other day, or Friday. Yeah, that one I've got right there is going out tomorrow. The one I've got on the Kubota there. But you can use an ATV. We use a Rubicon 500cc. I know people use their golf carts, pickup trucks, little tractors. You name it. Lawnmowers. I got a guy using a lawnmower to unroll his hay. Folks, it doesn't take that much to unroll it because all your weight is back here on these axles. And so you just have to pull it. So once you do get to a position where you want to unroll it, you just take this off, take that hook off, touch this, and it's going to fall right over onto the ground. Well, what's the advantage of unrolling hay versus feeding it in a bale ring? Well, there's about 4,000 reasons, but I'm going to cover 3 or 4 of them. One is when you unroll your hay, let's just say I started right up here. There's Isaac's bow target. I'll tell you what, now that guy, I wouldn't want him shooting at me with a bow. He is accurate. He was splitting the nocks on his arrows the other day. Unbelievable. I'd be lucky to hit the target. But you can start right here at the top and unroll all the way down to that woods line if you've got the bale on there correctly. And you go back and look at, if you just Google our YouTube channel, Isaac's Pet the Cat Method, we've got a YouTube video showing the direction to hook up to a bale. And you can literally go from this driveway all the way down that woods line and still have bale left. Folks, that's 400 yards. If you put it on the opposite direction, it'll be off in less than 100 yards. So what's the advantage of rolling hay out across your landscape? Well, the number one thing we hear from everybody, the old school is like, by golly, if I roll it after them cows are going to waste that hay. No. For every blade of grass they leave trampled out that they didn't eat, that's carbon. That's earthworm food. You're actually growing more grass the following year, right where you unrolled that hay. So you're putting all that carbon, all that seed, because you're getting a ton of seed. It's spreading out along that landscape right there. Folks, this was broom sedge. This is broom sedge and lance leaf ragweed when I bought this farm. And I've done nothing but unroll hay on it. Look at that. I mean, this is high quality winter stockpile. This is fescue. And it all came from unrolling hay. So if you're unrolling hay, you're throwing seed, you're putting carbon out, the animals come in and do the rest of it. Why would you want to put it up in a bale ring? Go buy the bale ring. They're not cheap, $300 to $500. The really good ones are higher than that. And the cattle destroy them. You got to walk out there in the mud and pull that thing out of the mud. Hopefully you don't have a newborn calf or a baby calf stomped in the mud around the bale feeder. That happens all the time. I'm serious, all the time. Because the baby calves get right up against that bale ring on a real windy night. The cows are fighting to get to the hay and they stomp right on the baby. And he's dead. You can pay for a lot of hay with several dead calves in winter just because they got stomped in the mud. You've got a 30-foot ring of fertility around that bale, maybe the second or third year. Okay, the first year all you're going to have is weeds because they took out your sod. Now, if you live in Canada, that's a whole different deal. I saw bale grazing there and it works good out there. They put the bale out. They don't even put rings around the bales. They just plop them out there. Well, the ground's frozen 3 foot deep. Folks, our ground doesn't get froze like that. I mean, we may get 3 or 4 inches, but then it'll fall. And if you try and do bale grazing out here, all you're going to have is a bunch of big rings that won't grow any grass, and you have ragweed growing there for the next 3 years. But unrolling it, look at this. There's feed out here, and I don't have an excessive, well, there's a few weeds. You're always going to have a few, but you're spreading your fertility over a bigger area. Folks, there's $40 to $50, maybe more now with the cost of fertilizer, but there's at least $40 to $50 worth of fertilizer in every big round bale. Get it out on your landscape. Don't feed it in a sacrifice lot. I've got a neighbor, don't have to mention him by name, but he feeds in the same area every single year. Folks, that sacrifice lot of his is 4 to 5 foot deep in old hay and manure and urine. It won't grow anything. It can't. He's killed the soil with nitrates. And his pastures look like they're on a starvation diet. If he could have spread all that hay out over his farm, like we have done here, his pastures wouldn't look like a golf course. But, what are you going to do? You can't, you can drag them to water, stick their head underneath the water, but they won't drink if they don't want to. So that's just the way it is. But anybody in need of a pasture fertilizer tool, and the other deal, I didn't cover that, the biggest one. You don't need a $50,000, $70,000, $80,000 tractor to feed 100 head of cattle. We're feeding 300, and we're using an ATV. Rubicon, we don't use that. I don't use that Kubota. That's for building fence. Unrolling hay, we use the ATV four-wheeler 500cc Honda Rubicon. Yep, the Honda Rubicon is absolutely the best four-wheeler made. It has a high and low side, plenty of power, and I don't care if you've got a little snow on the ground or whatever. Place your bales up on the high point of your farm, and then you can unroll them. If you put them down that valley and you try and pull them uphill, forget about it. You're not going to do it. But with the big tractor, folks, you're spending a lot of money for that tractor. It takes a lot of that stuff right there, diesel, and you're leaving ruts. You're leaving ruts out there in your field. If it's soft, you're going to leave ruts all over your farm. And the next spring, you got to go out there and try and disc those ruts in. Well, good luck. Because there's always 10,000 other things to do in the spring. You never get them disc in or harrowed, and then you got all these nasty ruts all over your farm. With the ATV, I don't care how wet it is, you're not going to leave ruts out there. So, yeah. Go to our website, greenpasturesfarm.net. Check these out. And Amber and Kendall are now got some reps out here. We've got a rep in Tennessee and one in West Virginia. I think they're getting one set up in Canada. I think there's one in Texas. Yeah, starting to get some reps out there carrying these things so you don't have to drive all the way to Missouri to get one or have one shipped. They're already in your state. Because shipping is not cheap. I mean, I don't care if you mail a letter or whatever. Shipping is not cheap today. So, yeah, check it out. greenpasturesfarm.net and Reject Ranch. That's Amber and Kendall. They've got a website, and they have a list of the people that are carrying these things if you're interested. So I hope you all have a great fall, and we'll see you down the road. Hit that subscribe button on the way out, and we'll see you all next time.